You're with us here on Business Today. I'm Abha Bakaya. Here are the day's top stories. Markets pause a two-day rally after the U.S. Fed raises interest rates again. IT, PSU bank and realty sectors drag indices. Sensex down 289 points, Nifty down 75 points. U.S. Fed sets the stage for another rate hike in India with its quarter-point hike, but takes the banking crisis into consideration, indicates a pause in rate hikes soon. Great news for those with the Great America Dream. U.S. allows Indians holding B1 and B2 tourist visas to interview for jobs while in the U.S. Change in visa necessary before starting work. More pain ahead for global giants. Accenture to cut about 19,000 jobs over the next 18 months, lowers its annual revenue and profit projections, indicates the worsening global economic outlook is sapping corporate spending on IT services. Maruti cars to be costlier from April. India's largest car maker announces a price hike due to cost pressures, joins Hero MotoCorp and Tata Motors in raising prices. Bulls took a breather today as domestic indices settled in the red after a two-day recovery. Thanks to negative global cues, bears emerged victorious during the fag end of the session as selling pressure mounted in blue-chip counters, in part due to a rise in interest rates in the U.S. The Sensex down close to 300 points and Nifty also down 75 points. Broader indices ending in the red as well. Hindalco, Maruti Suzuki, Nestle, ONGC, Tata Motors, some of the gainers today. On the downside, State Bank of India, Bajaj Auto, Kotak Mahindra Bank, HCL Tech and Asian Paints. Massive relief in store for world markets with the U.S. Fed signaling a pause in further rate hikes. The U.S. Central Bank, while hiking interest rates by 25 basis points to 5% last night, hinted that it will bow to the turbulence that the U.S. banking sector is facing. A statement from the U.S. Treasury Secretary, however, pressured banking stocks, especially the smaller ones.
Two banks have gone under in the U.S. in the past fortnight, both victim in part to the unprecedented pace of rise in interest rates by the U.S. Federal Reserve. However, the U.S. Fed has pressed on with rate hikes, raising the benchmark rate by 25 basis points to 5%, its highest level in the past 16 years. There are signs, however, the rate hikes may soon be paused.
Over the past 2 weeks are likely to result in tighter credit conditions for households and businesses, which would in turn affect economic outcomes. It is too soon to determine the extent of these effects, and therefore too soon to tell how monetary policy should respond. As a result, we no longer state that we anticipate that ongoing rate increases will be appropriate to quell inflation. Instead, we now anticipate that some additional policy firming may be appropriate. We will closely monitor incoming data and carefully assess the actual and expected effects of tighter credit conditions on economic activity, the labor market, and inflation.
The Fed chairman stressed that the recent banking crisis was not systematic and reassured depositors, consumers and businesses that the system was sound after the spate of actions that the central bank and other regulators have taken in the last 2 weeks.
The banking system is sound and resilient with strong capital and liquidity. We will continue to closely monitor conditions in the banking system and are prepared to use all of our tools as needed to keep it safe and sound. In addition, we are committed to learning the lessons from this episode and to work to prevent events like this from happening again.
Analysts were left puzzled over a statement by the U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Powell that the government was not considering blanket insurance of banking deposits following the collapse of the Silicon Valley Bank and the Signature Bank. An earlier comment by her had hinted at the U.S. government planning to raise the deposit guarantee from the current $250,000.
So, we look forward to working.
So, Madam Secretary, does insuring every deposit at every FDIC-insured bank in the nation over $250,000 require congressional approval?
This is not something that we have looked at. It's not something that we're considering. All that I have said is that when the failure of a bank is judged by supermajorities of the FDIC board, the Fed board, and myself in consultation with the President when such a failure is deemed to create systemic risk, which I think of as the risk of a contagious bank run, that we are likely to invoke the systemic risk exception, which permits the FDIC to protect all depositors.
Meanwhile, the Reserve Bank of India is set to make its interest rate outlook clear in the first week of April. The three-day Monetary Policy Committee meet ends 8th April, when a nominal repo rate hike is expected. Bureau Report, Business Today TV.
JK Tyre Chairman and Managing Director Raghupati Singhania, in an exclusive conversation with Business Today TV's Associate Editor Chetan Bhutani, said that the company is expected to witness double-digit growth next fiscal, with the auto industry back in full swing and the company's expansion plans on track. He also said raw material prices are stable and a price hike is not on the cards.
The market is currently booming as far as the Indian industry goes to the SUVs and the MUVs, sir. JK Tyre has a very significant presence in that as well. So, any new products that we are thinking towards SUVs and MUVs to cater to that market, and how good that market is currently right now with respect to growth?
No, that market is very buoyant, as you rightly said, and in fact, surprisingly, 40+% of the auto sales is in that market. And we have introduced new products recently, and we are coming out with further products in that. The latest being our Ranger HT, I beg your pardon, Ranger HT. So these are the products we have launched in this SUV segment to cater to that demand. And it is growing very well, as a matter of fact.
Right.
And in the coming years as well, we are continuously upgrading our product basket in the SUV segment.
Absolutely, sir. Give us an update on the Mexico plant as well, and of course the Mysore facility. How is it going? Any plans with regards to expansion? In December we had spoken, you had mentioned about its expansion as well. What is that on track, sir?
Everything is very much on track, incidentally. Okay. Let's talk about India and then Mexico separately. Sure. The Mysore plant in particular, why do you ask? May I ask?
Mysore facility you mentioned earlier, sir,
okay.
In the first question.
No, Mysore. No, we have 5 locations in India,
of course.
And our growth plans are for number of these locations, and we have already taken a major capex last year, which is nearly 1,200 crore rupees, and expanding both the truck radial capacity as well as passenger radial capacity, and which is taking place in 2 or 3 locations. So that is very much on and is very much on track, and therefore we will be able to participate in a little larger fashion in the Indian market. Right. Incidentally, we are already growing well, keeping my fingers crossed in the PCR segment, for instance. Year by year we are gaining market presence. Okay. And coming to Mexico, again, touch wood, we are doing very well there, and we have seen a very good growth last year as well. And the output is growing, sales is growing, profitability is improved.
Right. FY22 saw very much good growth in exports, about 1,800 crore rupees. How are the exports looking out for the current year, sir, with the new financial year on our head right now?
Export would be somewhat plateaued in the coming year because of the U.S. market in particular, and U.S. is a big market for us from Mexico as well. So it may be plateaued, may not grow very high, but we'll be able to maintain our presence there.
Absolutely. With the smart tire technology recently launched, sir, and of course the electric vehicle tires also the company has forayed into. How's the response been there, especially with the electric vehicle tires, sir? Is the demand looking out good?
You see, both are good. Smart is itself is a separate segment, market segment, and is doing well. And in the terms of EV, there is a market here, and we have offered complete range of products. For the buses, for instance, in Delhi, all the electric buses you see in Delhi are on our tires, JK tires. And even in the other metros, we are participating in the bus segment very extensively. Apart from that, in the two-wheelers, we are playing big. About nearly 8 EV manufacturers, two-wheeler manufacturers are buying tires from us, fitting on their vehicles. And the other car market is a little bit slowly growing. But we have tires, we are developing tires for the new cars which are coming in, working with the OEMs to develop tires for their requirements.
Absolutely. Sir, I'd also like to ask you about the rubber prices and the raw material prices. How are they standing currently?
Raw material prices are now somewhat tapered off, or I mean, let's say evened out. And if anything, there's a mild slowdown, I mean tapering down. And rubber prices, of course, is more of a seasonal factor. Seasonal variations do take place, and that will take place given the political agenda in the supply source here in India particularly. So, but nothing of volatility that we notice.
So the good news could be coming in that there would be no price hikes in the coming future?
I hope so.
Good news for people looking for a job in the U.S. The United States Citizenship and Immigration Services has announced that tourists visiting the U.S. on a B1 or B2 visa can also apply for jobs in the country. They will, however, have to get a relevant visa once they get the job. This announcement comes as a relief for thousands of Indian immigrant techies who have been laid off in Silicon Valley. For more on this, we're joined by Akanksha Chaturvedi. Akanksha, tell us who all are qualified for interviews as per the latest announcement. Will it mean that they can start working with a tourist visa immediately?
Well, as per the U.S. Citizenship and Immigration Services announcement, individuals traveling to the United States on a business or a tourist visa can apply for jobs and even appear for interviews. This would include B1 and B2 visa holders. But yes, the federal agency also clarifies that immigrants cannot start working on a travel visa and would have to get their status changed. Like you said, this comes as a relief to thousands of Indians and other immigrants who've been laid off in the recent slew of layoffs. As per the law, those on an H-1B visa would have been deported in case they did not find another employer who would sponsor their visa within 60 days of their termination. Reports claim that majority applicants of H-1B visa have been Indian techies working at companies like Amazon, Meta, Google, etc. And this announcement has just made things easier for them. Back to you.
Thank you for that, Akanksha. Now, very few families in India can boast of several members of their clan getting the highest civilian recognition of the land for their services to society and the community. Since 1954, the Padma Awards have honored the best and brightest, be it in the fields of art, trade, industry, medicine, science, technology or public affairs, among several categories. Here are a few of those honored families which have not one but several Padma Award winners in their clan.
Padma Bhushan, Shri Kumar Mangalam Birla.
On the evening of 22nd of March, Kumar Mangalam Birla joined 3 others in his family as a recipient of the prestigious Padma Award. Just 55-year-old, the Aditya Birla Group chairman was honored with a Padma Bhushan for his contribution to the field of trade and industry. The Birlas have been prominent industrialists and nation builders since pre-independence. His great-grandfather G.D. Birla was awarded the second highest civilian award of the country, Padma Vibhushan, in 1957 for his contribution to trade and industry. His grand-uncle G.P. Birla received the Padma Bhushan award in 2006 for social work. Kumar Mangalam Birla's mother Rajshri Birla also received the Padma Bhushan in 2011 for social work. Lata Mangeshkar, who passed away last February, represented a family of eminence in the field of arts. She was awarded not one but 2 Padma Awards, the Padma Bhushan in 1969 and the Padma Vibhushan in 1999. This was capped by the highest honor of the land, the Bharat Ratna, in 2001. Her brother Pandit Hridayanath Mangeshkar received the Padma Shri in 2009 for contributions to art, and her younger sister Asha Bhosle received a Padma Vibhushan in 2008. The Bachchans are another family with multiple Padma Awards. Legendary actor Amitabh Bachchan received the Padma Shri in 1984, the Padma Bhushan in 2001 and the Padma Vibhushan in 2015. His father, noted poet Harivansh Rai Bachchan, received the Padma Bhushan in 1976, while Jaya Bachchan was honoured with Padma Shri in 1992. Aishwarya Rai Bachchan also received the Padma Shri in 2009. Along with the Birlas, another nation builder family has been the Tatas. Ratan Tata is a recipient of the Padma Vibhushan and the Padma Bhushan for his contribution to trade and industry. His uncle and predecessor J.R.D. Tata received the Bharat Ratna and Padma Vibhushan. while Naval Tata, Ratan Tata's father, received a Padma Bhushan for contributions to social work in 1969. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
Myntra, a fashion app loved by many, has been growing over the years. In an exclusive conversation, BTTV's Rachna Dhanrajani caught up with Myntra CEO Nandita Sinha, who spoke about the success story and the tech behind it.
I'd like to start by asking, in a space which is so crowded, there are so many commercial apps coming up every single day, what is it that keeps Myntra going?
Hi, thank you so much for calling us a favorite app, but I think what really keeps us going is innovating for fashion and innovating through technology. Our purpose has been to democratize fashion, lifestyle and beauty through technology, and that's what actually has kept us going and kept us solving for the consumer. I think the biggest piece of what keeps us going is that we solve for the consumer, and we try to introduce offerings which are relevant for the consumer, and we build innovations which are solving some deep consumer problem. So last year when we introduced Myntra Express, for example, it was built for speed, which was a need for the consumer, especially for the consumer who was really adopting e-commerce for a lot of parts of their business. As we talk about, say, social commerce, which we built like Myntra Studio, Myntra Live, I think the need was to connect brands with consumers in a very seamless content to commerce application, and it got founders, brands and consumers talking to each other in a social media native way. So I think building, being a platform which enables brands internationally, D2C brands, homegrown brands to actually talk to consumers in a very interactive way is something that we keep on doing. So I think what keeps us going is innovating for the customer and innovating through technology.
Talking about technology, Myntra has been building tech stack. So how is it that consumer feedback has been helping you organize tech stack?
I think what we really do is that while technology is a way of solving it, what we really try and explore with the deep expertise the team has across fashion and technology is to understand what are the unmet needs of the customer. Like I talked about speed. Speed was an unmet need. People wanted fashion. You know, you were going for a party tomorrow, you wanted today, and therefore that became important. And we were able to launch Myntra Express, and today almost 50% of our orders in the metro cities are delivered within 2 days. If we look at a category like beauty, where we are new today and we are really growing much faster than the industry, what has actually differentiated us is our tech stack. So we have products like virtual try-ons, skin analyzers, product finders. We have some really cool new products which are in the line, and I think all of these are unmet needs of the customer. They want to build regimes, they want to get advice. So how do you build that advice and regime building online? And that's what we try to build through our tech stack. Size and fit is a problem we solve through tech. So I think the idea has always been to figure out what is the problem and build a platform that can solve that problem at scale efficiently, and that continues to be your moat as you go on.
Right, we're at a startup conference. What is it that one piece of advice you would like to give to up-and-coming startup founders who are struggling to still reach their audience, reach their niche?
Sure. I think, you know, I was in a session and someone said very rightly so that, you know, focus, because focus helps you build dominance and dominance gives you value. I think I would give that advice to all startups, that keep focusing on the need, on the niche that you went out to build. If you build it well, you will find takers both on the consumer side, the supply side and on the funding side. So that would be my advice. Keep focusing and keep building innovatively. I think keep being resourceful. That would be my advice in this environment also.
Virat Kohli is no longer the most valuable brand in the country. Cricket's been overtaken once again by Bollywood, with actor Ranveer Singh emerging as India's most valued celebrity. But the big story in this year's Kroll Celebrity Brand Valuation Report is the emergence of Southern stars and the spotlight on the increasingly relevant influencer community.
तालियों के बीच स्वागत कीजिए जिसका यहाँ है हर कोई फैन, आपका चहेता, the Electric Man.
Flops don't matter. Empty seats in theatres don't matter. Distributors and producers losing money don't matter. Ranveer Singh has still emerged as the most valuable celebrity brand in the country. He's given 3 back-to-back flops, 83, Jayesh Bhai Jordar and Circus, but still managed to bowl out Virat Kohli on the brand value pitch. Apart from his films, What makes Ranveer Singh so special for the marketers is the portfolio of 41 brands which he endorses. These include Ching's, Bingo, Nivea and Colgate. The actor reportedly charges between 3.4 and 4 crore rupees for each ad. But it's his widening global presence which has seen Ranveer's value skyrocket. In the past year, Ranveer has signed up with Adidas and the NBA. He has been roped in as the brand ambassador of Yas Island in Abu Dhabi, as well as India's brand ambassador for the FIFA World Cup 2022. In fact, a crash in box office fortunes has not toppled Akshay Kumar either from his perch as the third most valuable celebrity brand. He has 9 flops since 2020, but still is in demand as a brand endorsing more than 30 brands. According to Kroll Celebrity Brand Valuation Report 2022, beyond the mainstream report, Ranveer Singh has a brand value of $181.7 million, followed closely by Virat Kohli at $176.9 million. Akshay Kumar is at the 3rd position, while Alia Bhatt and Deepika Padukone follow at the 4th and 5th ranks. Mahindra Singh Dhoni seemingly remains a hit with advertisers, despite retiring from Test cricket 9 years ago. The evergreen Big B, Sachin Tendulkar, Hrithik Roshan and Shah Rukh Khan complete the top 10 list. The superhuman brands are seemingly unaffected by all talk of an economic slowdown as well. With the overall brand value of the top 25 celebrities in 2022 estimated at $1.6 billion, a whopping 29% rise over 2021. But it's the rise of the southern film stars which has created the largest waves in the marketing world. Bollywood's dry run at the box office and the image-shattering popularity of films like Pushpa, RRR, KGF have propelled Allu Arjun and Rashmika Mandanna into the top 25 brands list. Also inching upwards in the brand hustings is a new category, that of influencers. According to Kroll, social media has upended the market and marketers this year are spending as much as 10% of their digital marketing budgets on influencers to tap into the regional reach offered by them. So a couple of years from now, don't be surprised if you see social media influencers rubbing shoulders with the big boys in the top 25 list. Bureau Report, Business Today TV.
That's where we leave it on the show tonight. Thanks so much for watching.